Right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first class on Introduction to Public Speaking, specifically Introduction to Meaning. And the reason that the first public speaking class is about meaning is that meaning is what makes our students actually excited about what they're talking about. Makes them interested. I think everyone here has had times their students were interested and times their students were bored. So we'd like to bring a place, at least in public speaking, for students to be excited about speaking. And that means, first of all, getting them to care and giving them tools that they can use to improve their speaking in English, as well as in general, improving their communication. So public speaking, what is public speaking? Public speaking is audience-focused presentation. This is where the focus is not on me and what I want to say, and let's get free therapy by sharing whatever it is that I feel like saying with everybody else. That is not the public speaking that we're going to learn and what we're going to be teaching our students. We are going to be teaching our students audience-focused presentation. And in that, their main focus is that others will not only hear them, but want to listen to them. And for that, we're going to learn over the upcoming lessons, different tools, which are tools that I've used in public speaking competitions of different types. And it's surprising the things you use to win a public speaking competition or a debating competition have a lot of practical application in our day-to-day life communication, even if we don't have a judge giving us an award. So our goal is to, through the coming lessons, learn how to help our students become audience focused in their presentation and therefore be interesting for 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and get the audience along for the ride. Now, the first drill we're going to do when we want to get our students speaking is separating them from the normal class dynamic that we usually have. And this already is one of the best ways to do it, is something called code names. So we're going to start with code names. Now, code names is where you give the students a different name from their own name. Now it's no longer the same class politics. It's no longer, student A or student B with their existing dynamics. Now suddenly they have a different name. So we're going to try that right now. I'd like everyone to change your name to a country you like. My only request is we don't duplicate countries. Okay, so please change your name to a country you like. I would recommend you write your country.
We don't do what? Sorry, we don't do what?
Change your name to a country you like. Right here.
I'll show you.
So let's say example. So let's see. Canada, Sarah. Okay, add your name afterwards. All right, so please change your name now to a country. Very good. Thank you, Italy, Michal. If you're not sure how to change your name on Zoom, here is a little slide that was made by me before I grew my beard. So you click on the 3 dots, you click rename, and you change your name. Please put your country first, and then put your name second. If you have trouble changing your name, let me know. I'm happy to change your name for you. Very good. Thank you, Spain and Nav.
I will be glad to.
Svea,
okay. Do it instead of me, Karmit, Africa.
You click the
Africa is a continent. We need specific countries. Pick a country.
England instead, אני יודעת מה.
Wonderful.
רגע. Morocco.
Revital Yosef, can you write my name? Revital, California.
1 second. That's a state. But fine, California. Let's do that.
Karmit, Morocco.
Oh, you want Morocco?
Yes.
You got it. Okay.
I can't change my name. I don't know why.
What would you like to be, Sagit? Where would you like to be?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, well, we'll go with Arizona.
Yes.
Wonderful. You know, we'll let states. We'll do cities.
Okay.
Oh,
Vicky, Clayman, France.
France. Okay. By the way, we have two Spains. So if one of you is willing to be the bigger, like, so if one of the Spains can please change. All right. Very good. Oh wow, we have three Spains. Everyone likes Spain. Okay. So can Spains please change?
Because you change or I change.
There's three Spains.
Okay, I will change mine.
Okay, can others please change? Okay, please put your country first.
Can you change my name, please? I cannot do it. Anat, Ireland.
We already have an Ireland. So everyone, please look at the participants.
Okay, Scotland. Is there Scotland? I'm on the phone.
Can someone else help her out?
What?
Let's get ourselves with code names. Can everyone please help each other out to make sure there's no duplications?
I don't think we can change one another's countries' names.
But you can tell each other. So if you're saying you're on your phone and you can't see what you are. All right.
Can you write Israel Revital? Israel Revital?
There is already Israel.
There is already.
Everyone, please look in the participants tab to see which participants we already have.
You have Italy, Australia, Romania, Arizona, France, Israel, Ireland, Las Vegas, Israel. You have again.
Two Israels.
Italy,
One of the
Italy,
Israels.
To
is
Israel,
Spain.
so I will change mine again.
Revital is Schweiz. This is Schweiz, Schweiz.
Chofit, Miriam, Anat, Karen, Revital, please change your name to your country before your name.
And we have
But I don't know
Italy.
countries. Tell me a country, please.
Google one. You have computers, you have phones. As long as no one else took it, anything is good. You can turn yourself to a city.
Okay,
We have to Italy or
All right, then one of you has to change.
I want a country that loves Israel.
Good. Again, you're on a computer. I believe we're techno-able
Okay.
enough to open a new tab and pick any country. Okay, thank you for picking Russia, Chofit. Please put your country first, name second.
Danielle, can you change it to Mexico? I cannot do it.
Who's speaking?
Anat.
Anat, yes, no problem. Okay, Anat, you want to be Mexico? I don't think we have a Mexico. Mexico, Anat. Okay. Anyone
Can
else
you
need help
write my
changing
name
their
on
name?
there in Switzerland?
No one takes mine again.
What?
No one takes mine again.
Okay.
Daniel,
Yes,
can you write Switzerland Revital?
I did. Okay.
Okay,
Miri, can
thank
you
you.
please put Egypt before your name? Okay, we're almost there.
But
Doing
I am
great.
Egypt.
Oh, Miri, you can't be Egypt. There already is in Egypt. Okay, it's nice to see the frame of reference that we have. Okay, so if let's check in. So let's look through the participants. By the way, it should sort itself alphabetically. So when you use countries, it's quite convenient to see everybody sorted. Okay, so we have all right, Arizona, Ireland, Mirav. If you can hear me, please change your name to a country and then your name. Las Vegas, very cool. This is the first time I've had a Las Vegas. Okay, Miri, Egypt. There's another Egypt. You need to pick something else. Miri, can you hear me? All right, would you like help getting renamed? All right, well, I would like to offer something for Miri to be, which isn't Egypt, because we already have an Egypt. Japan, Miri, wonderful. Okay, Merav already is in Israel. Okay, so
Take China. Take China.
China's good. Okay, so what we've seen here, by the way, as a classroom drill, and this is quite interesting to do both in a classroom and online, is when you give code names, watching and giving the students a place to interact with each other. If you saw already, I took myself out of the teacher position. I took myself out of the, sage on stage, and I mostly left it to you to solve for yourselves what you're going to be. This already is part of the difference that even if we're not completely speaking in English, you could say it's English class, like we should communicate in English. There's now a personal and an interpersonal dynamic between the students to figure out who and what they're going to be. So they're already speaking English, which we didn't notice that we were doing necessarily. We were just trying to figure out countries. Hey, you're already Spain. You're doing this. We have that. And that is a good step that even before we started code names, we're already moving to English. Now we're moving in to the next one. So our topic, what are our goals for public speaking and this public speaking course? This is going to be our open question that we're going to start using code names, and we're going to do this doing something called the caucus game. The caucus game, caucus is the term for formal discussion in a governmental body, and it's used in the US Senate. We have Vidot in the Knesset and in other places. So our topic for all of us, what would we like to learn as teachers from a public speaking course? Now, the rules of the caucus game. So the caucus game, caucus is discussion. Students speak about a topic for 20 seconds, give or take. The speaker chooses the next speaker, and the teachers manage the transition. Repetition is fine, and there are only right answers. Okay, so Batel, you just joined us. Please change your name to a country, any country that isn't already taken. Okay, and we're going to start. So I'm going to demonstrate in the beginning, starting off with the caucus game, and then we're going to pass it around. Okay, so let's start with Vika, Australia. So you can know, so we're going to use country names. I'm going to use people name as well, just because we're not used to being called countries. We can already see that by changing our name to a country, for those of you who know each other, again, many of us don't know each other here. Who knows someone else here in the Ish Talmud? Raise your hand if you know at least one other person.
I know.
Okay, great. So probably a half. Okay, some of us do, some of us don't. In our classrooms, everybody knows each other. And yet, when we use code names, it changes the dynamic. So please be aware of what your country is. When I'm going to call someone, I'm going to call your country. If you don't respond, I can also add your name, but we're going to try it with the countries. So I see, is there a question, Las Vegas? Nope, you were just showing you know people. Wonderful. Okay, so we're going to start. The question is, what are our public speaking goals? What would we like to learn from this professional development? Australia.
First of all, you said that this is for people. Yes?
One more time.
You said that the Ishtalmut is for the pupils to how to get the audience. So this is also for the teachers. We also need to get the audience. We work in front of the class every day. So this is my work to get the audience. And you said also one sentence that I liked. You want not only listen to them, we'll get them want to listen to them. So I also want my students to want me to listen to me. So this is the main purpose for me, how to be a pleasant speaker, a pleasant public speaker. And I will choose the next speaker, probably Einav.
No,
Einav.
code name, use the code name.
I don't remember. Einav, Egypt? No.
So look at the participants list. Okay, Egypt.
So California, Revital.
Oh, Egypt's fine. You can take.
Egypt is fine.
But I'm requesting, let's try to use just the code name. Okay,
Okay.
we want to see how it changes the. Okay, Do we have two? Okay, so this
So-
is going to be Egypt. It's currently Egypt, not
I
California.
agree with you, Vika. I think it is very important. It's very important to make the audience feel that they want to listen to us, that we are interesting, that what we say is interesting, and I really want to learn to. I really want my students to talk freely in class, and to be, קודם כל to be, איך אומרים את זה? להיות בטוחים, to be,
Confidence.
כן, to feel confidence that they can talk, and to talk in an interesting way in order to make the others or their friends want to listen to them.
Wonderful. Egypt, who would you like to hear from next?
Romania.
Romania. What are your public speaking
Hi,
goals for the
everyone.
course?
Hi, everyone. I agree with you, Einav and Vika, that they should be confident to speak fluently in the classroom. My goal is to be interesting for them, that they will be interested in the lesson, and they will be able to express their feelings and opinion about the subject, and whatever they want to say about it.
Thank you,
That's it.
Romania. Who would you like to hear from next?
Morocco, Kermit. Hi.
Morocco, you have the floor. All right, Morocco's not here, Romania. Pick someone else.
Ireland.
Ireland.
Hi, everybody. I think that it's very important for pupils to listen to us and to see that how speaking is important, and maybe for pupils to see that it's not so difficult and everybody can do it, and just to pick up some important or interesting topics and to be able to talk about them, even if they don't know the exact word or the exact sentence and how to express themselves. They will be able to say and express their feelings, and just to look for appropriate words and sentences, and also to be able to talk and to say whatever they want, even if they don't know English so well, not yet, and just to talk and to use English, just to be able to use English in order to learn more and better. And I think that also they will see that if we can teach them to be more like pupil-centered and no teacher-centered, and they will see that they can do it. It's not so hard. It's not so difficult.
Very nice. Thank you, Ireland. Who would like to hear from next?
Japan, Miri.
Japan.
Hey, I'm Miri from Japan.
Welcome from Japan. Glad you could join us.
I just want to add that I wish that I will be able to speak only in English in class, so that the pupil will be able to understand me, and also to speak with me only in English in class, and then it will be and then they will be able to speak in front of people or in crowds, fluency and to encourage their or to increase their confidence to speak in front of people fluently and freely, as they say. And that's it.
Wonderful. Who you like to hear from next?
רגע. Maybe China.
Look at excellent. Look at the participants list. When it's a classroom, you're gonna have your students with their code names in front of them. Maybe sit them in like a chet, 3/4 of a square, make it prominent. So just go China.
Yeah.
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello there. Yes, I'm China. And I think my goal is the main goal is to build self-confidence in my students so that they would be able to express themselves in front of an audience. And we know that our pupils don't prepare themselves, not to class, not nowhere. And I think that when you talk in front of an audience, you have to prepare yourself well to be understood well. And this is a really important thing for us as teachers. And I want them also not to be panicked when they don't find the right word. And that also happens to us as Hebrew speakers. This is our mother tongues. And I think it's very important to prepare them for life so that they will be able to talk in front of people and groups and audiences. And that's it. And the next one is the Netherlands. Orit.
Japan or China? What was it?
I was China.
China. Okay, China, Merav. I agree with every word that Merav said. I believe that students need to practice their fluency to be able to speak freely and confidently in front of audience or even in front of another person in English. And I believe this is important for them to succeed in everything, not just in English, their COBE exam or anything. And that's it.
All right, we're gonna take probably 3 more countries. Netherlands, who do you choose?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Wait, hi.
Hello.
Everyone. Well, I agree with everything that's been said here. Of course, that the most important thing that we need to get the pupils is their confidence. If they have the confidence, then I think the rest is going to be a piece of cake. They need to understand, of course, that we need to teach them that it's okay to make the mistakes. Because, of course, we learn from these mistakes. This is how I learned my English, from making the mistakes. So it's part of who we are. It's part of being a human being. That mistakes are part of being, of building us much better. So I'm talking about the confidence, and everything will come after that.
Wonderful. Okay, let us continue. Who would you like to hear from next?
I'd like to, maybe California.
California.
California, here we come. Where is California?
California.
Yeah, here we come.
California. Okay, so I had a lot of time to think about it. I hope it will be good. So speaking is not only speaking. It's reading what you wrote in order to speak. It's how to express yourself. It's organization, the whole conversation, the whole speaking paragraph that you, and also recording. If you speak, if you don't record what you say or what or something, you can do some so I think speaking is a lot of things, and not only speaking, you know, fluently is very important, and be confident in your speaking is very important, but you need to do some work before you speak, like I did.
Exactly. All right, let's take one more. California, who do you like to hear from?
I like to maybe Las Vegas.
Las Vegas.
I'm on my way home and I'm
Nice
on the bus.
library.
No, I'm on my way home. So
You're not in a
maybe you
giant
can say-
library with candles on the wall?
no, I'm not. It's a lie. No, but I will really want someone else to talk, really.
But just one thing. What would you like from the course? One public speaking thing.
To be honest, that's my biggest fear, speaking in front of an audience, and I would like not to pass it to my students, and I would like to know more about it.
Wonderful.
And that's
Who would you like to hear from next?
London.
Do we have a London here? I don't see a London, Las Vegas. Pick someone else, please.
England.
Oh, we do have a London. All right, London.
Hi, everyone. So I think that speaking in front of a class make them to be more independent, because it's the first time that they are making a lecture and they are preparing to it, and they are lecturing something that they like, something from their world and not something from the book that we are teaching. It's not a worksheet. It's not teaching some subject that they need to test on. It's something that they like. They lecture. They are controlling everything. And also for the future, where when they are coming to any work, I don't know, any work, any studying something, their confidence increases, I think, for the future. That's
Amazing.
it.
Excellent. Would anyone else like to say something, add to this discussion before we wrap up? If I would like to.
Spain has a
All right.
question.
London, do you choose Spain to speak next?
Yes, of course.
All right. London has chosen you. Yes, Spain.
I would like to know, should we correct the pupils when they speak or not? Because that's something that's really important to me.
All right. Well, we'll answer that when we wrap up the game. So while you're speaking Spain, what would you like to get from a public speaking course?
Everything that was said before me, promoting speaking, ideas for creative ways to encourage speaking, how to deal with the fear of speaking in public. And of course, should we correct them or not? If we want to work on their confidence, or maybe just the accuracy or the accent, is it important? I have many questions.
Wonderful. Well, we'll get to all of those, hopefully in the course. So thank you very much for jumping into the caucus game. You know, we haven't known each other an hour yet, and we already did a whole bunch of speaking in English. And I'd like to point out a little bit what it is that we just did. So first of all, good job to everyone. I mean, I'm very glad everyone participated, although, you know, as educators, we should be okay with a bit of public speaking, but still, because listen, for some of these, you know, we're like, all right, we're just going to go listen for a bunch of hours. You know, this one's going to be interactive. So I hope you're okay with that. My goal in the 30 hours, as I said, is to give you as much of the, you know, competitive team, you know, skills for public speaking and things involved in it as we can comfortably do. So reviewing what we just did, we took a topic about what are our goals for public speaking, and we played the caucus game. The caucus game, when you play it, the key point is, first of all, there are only right answers, and you watch how we didn't have to have code names, but with the code names, it was much easier than trying to figure out how to read somebody's name, or, you know, who do I know? Who do I not know? It's like you glance USA, France, Morocco, California. It creates a type of ease. It brings students to a place where if you are running this with a new class where they may not know each other as much, or, you know, names aren't familiar, we're more used to saying countries. You can play code names also with books. or movies and tell them, okay, what's your favorite movie? What is the key word in the movie name that you like? So for example, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, could it be shortened to what? What would you have the student shorten it to? Any ideas? If a student's favorite movie is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, we want to make it one word. What would it be?
Azkaban, I don't know.
Yeah, Azkaban, Harry Potter. If someone decides, if you pick favorite song, and that's Now I'm a Believer, they could change it to Believer.
Then you will have Rihanna and Beyonce.
Exactly, your favorite pop artist. It's terms that the students are good at, so that when they're making things up on the spot and under some level of pressure, bam, they can quickly switch to a word they know and a concept they know, which also breaks the regular class dynamic. Secondly, is that the speaker chooses the next speaker. So suddenly it's not, let's look who Daniel is looking at. Let's pay like all of us here. We didn't know who was going to be chosen next. And that randomness keeps the participants on their toes. And now it's not just, listening to, teacher, however interesting or not interesting they are. All of a sudden it's listening to your peers. So the style and the content changes quickly. And there's the roulette of who is going to be next. And for this, the caucus game is one of the best learning drills. When I have new groups, this is the first thing I do. I break the teacher-student dynamic, I give them new names for a new setting, and I have them pick the next speaker. And that you can guide it by saying, choose someone who didn't speak before. But then again, you can also switch up the dynamic. If you've done this to your students once or twice, you can bring it to place saying you can choose from the beginning someone who already spoke. And that can make it even more interesting. So depends on your relationship with your students and what they're able to do. But there's a lot of activity here. The main thing is that it's a clear question. It could be a yes or no question or a question they can easily answer. Today, for example, I ran a discussion earlier with students on what is the right temperature for class. Is class too cold? So they can say yes or no. And then this is the part to answer what Michal Spain said before, which is their only right answers. For this type of a drill, we're asking the students to jump out of the regular classroom format. So I would suggest less corrections, just say good job, good job, good job. They will already get into it. And you're going to see when we play this game again, there's a little bit later in the course, you're going to see how we really lose ourselves in this activity. With the right type of guiding topic and framework, the caucus game really takes you onto other journeys because of the attributes I said. A topic that's easily understood, calling on people with words and names that break the dynamic, and that the speaker chooses the next speaker. So, as you have heard me say many times throughout the drill, good job. After everyone is done, good job, good job, good job. A lot of positive reinforcements. Our students are used to looking at us for this type of response. We give them grades. Our smiles bring them affirmation. But here, good job is built structurally into the drill. And if a student says, I don't feel like speaking, or repeats the previous speaker, then say, okay, that's great that Switzerland doesn't want to speak, but who would you like to hear from next? We keep it going. And it's our job as the facilitator to not let the ball drop. And when we're going to try this drill next, we're going to pass the passing between us. And you'll all see how we just have to keep it going. And it's something where when the student's speaking, we can pause for breath, but we don't want the ball to drop. It's the life of this activity going that makes it so engaging. So I'm saying, look how we ourselves lost ourselves. Now, if even at a moment, like when it's who do you pick from next, we're waiting for it to maybe be us, all these different engagement techniques. And this ties into, I'd say, a lesson for our course, which is that we're learning important skills for students. And what we have here, the public speaking slideshows that I'm giving you, you can use to teach your classes, but it's also skills for us and things we can practice here in a safe environment. So right now, this is the point in time where I offer us to take a break before we get into more theory and more fun stuff. So I would like to have us take a vote. And this is another thing which is really great to do with a classroom where you have the students decide how long their break's going to be. So we can take now a 10-minute break or a 15-minute break, and we're going to vote on the type of break that we would like.
And we not take a break at all. We want to finish early. We have kids here.
We're going to finish early, but I think that, so let's take a 10-minute break. I'm not taking
You have
two
to take a
breaks.
break, please.
I
What?
want to finish early and go to my kids. Kilo, they didn't see me today from work to the Zoom.
And we're very happy you're here with us. So I'll say my policy generally for the course is that we take one break about an hour in, give or take, and then we go till the end and we finish early. So instead of finishing at 6:30, we'll finish closer to 6. If there is a day where our drills will have us go longer, I'll let you know, but that's generally my aim is to have us learn for about an hour, 10-minute break, another hour, and be done. That's my format. There'll be 1 or 2 weeks, like next week with story structure, where we may go over just because the drill requires it. But normally that's what my aim is. So I still would like us to take a break. It helps us freshen up. I don't think us listening to me or each other without that is as good. So let's take a vote. Would you like, I will aim for us to end by around 6 either way, whether it's a 10-minute break or 15-minute break, but let's take our vote. Whoever would like a 10-minute break, please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 11. Who would like a 15-minute break? Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do I see 6? All right. Well, with the overwhelming majority for 10. By the way, this is also another cool thing you can do. It's more fun, like works even, I'd say it works extra well on Zoom, but also for your class, gamifying voting. It's like 1, 2, 3. Do I see 4? Do I see 5? Okay. Well, with 11 to 6 voting for 10 minutes, we're going to take a 12-minute break because I like round numbers. So time now is 4:53. We're going to meet back here at 5:05. Have a great break. See you soon.
Daniel, I have a question.
Okay, everyone else is welcome to take a break. We'll see you all soon.
Are all the sessions going to be online?
I've been asked by Michal from Pisgah that we should do at least one in person to meet in person. So it's likely we'll have one in person. They'll get to hang out together in Ashkelon. Generally, though, there will be online.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll talk.
So we leave and then we re-enter?
Nope, I'm leaving the link on.
Okay.
No one needs to
You can
leave.
stay here and turn off your camera.
You can stay here and turn off your camera. Exactly. All right, see you all soon. Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully we're all here. Time now is 5:06. I'm gonna guess some of us will be rejoining the link. Hope you had a good break.
I have a question. Can I ask a question, Danielle?
You can. We're gonna at the end of class, after I stop the recording of the lesson part, then we'll do all the housekeeping stuff. But you're welcome to now as well if you feel it's relevant.
No, I'll wait. It's okay.
Okay, so for everyone who has questions regarding the course, technically, there is a discussion to have. So at the end of class, I'm going to say, any questions? All right, great. Thank you. And you'll all say thank you. And then I'll stop the stream and then we'll do all that. And then we'll have a better video for all us at the end. Okay, so the majority of our classes are interactive, like most of the beginning of today. I can let you in, but I'm also, there are a bunch of other co-hosts for anybody who wants to get back in. I feel sharing the co-host is, quite helpful. We're all quite well versed in this online Zoom permissions. Is there someone who did not fill out the participation document that I shared in the beginning? Okay, so can someone please let the waiting room people in? Can one of our co-hosts please let people in? We have a bunch of co-hosts. All right, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm reposting the sign-up document. All right, and we're back. Time is 5:08. Can we be done, give or take, at 6 o'clock? Let's find out. Hopefully learn some interesting things on the way. Okay, so what I didn't really do in the beginning of the class is introduce myself. When I start with these classes, I think it's more important that we get in and we start speaking rather than, going through all the formalities. We're gonna do a little bit reverse. I'm gonna introduce myself now. We're gonna talk about meaning and the beginning of storytelling, the theoretical part of the class. And then I'm going to stop the recording and we'll go through technical questions and that'll be that. So a little bit about myself and why I'm now here teaching public speaking. So my name is Daniel Gindis. I am the director of Ambassador. We are an education company which teaches English with a focus on students speaking and learning skills that are, useful and applicable in other parts of life. We run Model UN debate and public speaking clubs in various schools around Israel. Some of you may be familiar with us. And we also do professional development. We run Model UN debate and public speaking competitions throughout the year. There will be a public speaking competition after this course, and all of your students are welcome to participate. As I said, free for everyone who is part of the course. And I'd recommend it so our students get to practice some of the things we have here in the course. A bit about my own background. I started doing the activities I'm teaching here in college. I didn't know what I was getting into. I was like, oh, I like talking. This involves talking. Yay, And I definitely lost some, early rounds on things that taught me lessons, that we learn lessons through our hardships. And that really, I'd say, gave me the most out of that stage in life. I was a very active student, but with these disciplines, the things you learn from peer learning and simulation and these activities where it's like, I'm debating against the other guy, only one of us can win, and that requirement elicits something very different from us challenging ourselves or us, trying to beat the paper, whether it's math or history. So if any of you have had similar experience or drives, through both competition and through peer engagement, these activities brought me, a year, 2 years later, I'm like, whoa, look at all these different things I can do. I can be logical, structured, actually plan what I say instead of just blurting it out, and I wish I would have discovered these things sooner, though I am very glad that I got them when I did. Having the emotional availability for these disciplines is one of the greatest things that our students have. They don't yet have the weight and responsibility of, you know, wanting to get through this professional development course to run off to something else, and requirements to our partners, to our children, to our parents, to, you know, and schools piling on all these different assignments to us. You know, it's not easy, you know, growing up life, you know, we don't have time for all these things. And for the students, they're, you know, sleeping late, playing on their phones and so on. So one of the things they're going to have, if you decide to start a public speaking club or even a set of classes focused on public speaking, is if they take to it or when they take to it, there will be emotional availability that we don't have at this point in life. But there's something we have that they don't, which I learned when I started not just competing, but also teaching, which was we have time on our side. As we teach public speaking courses or Model UN courses year after year, we get better. And the students, even the ones who take to it the most, like high school ends, then they go on to other things and other responsibilities. And sometimes they'll come back to it when they come to university. But I found that from an educator's perspective, the qualitative improvement and ability of teachers with all of these things continues to grow exponentially. And I found that I have learned, I'd probably say, at least as much through teaching and finding how to fine tune things and make differences as I has as a competitive debater and a competitive Model UNer and a competitive public speaker. Our dream as Ambassador is the company that I founded and I run with my good friend Jason Kipp, who also teaches professional development courses, is to have an MU Model UN club, which is, I'd say, the ultimate speaking and learning through simulation activity in every school in Israel. That's our goal. And I would recommend our MUN Ishtalmut for a future one. It's a lot of fun. And some people are nodding here, and definitely something worth getting into. We're going to play a little bit with speaking through MUN later on in this course, and you'll see how as an activity for students, it is really enriching and engaging, but more on that later. So that's a bit about myself. I did all of these disciplines from a place of curiosity and interest. I didn't know that it was changing the way that I think. And when I started, I never knew that, you know, years later, I'd be, you know, teaching courses on these things or really caring about improving education in Israel. But that's the journey we take. And I think for everyone here, whether it's you'd like to improve your own skills and you already have, you know, a game and some tips to use, there'll be a whole bunch more. My goal is for this to be the most valuable for everyone here, for ourselves, and also with things we can use with our students. All the slideshows that I have here and are on the Moodle, you're welcome to use and modify for your classes. And there is a public speaking journey. If everyone here has at least one aha moment throughout the course, I will consider this worthwhile. Okay, so let's jump into our first lesson for today. And this is one which is not obvious when we think about public speaking, because we think of public speaking as something functional. You know, have a clear voice, project, you know, open your eyes, smile. You know, we don't think about it with the motivation that it comes from. And this is why when a lot of what we're learning is going to be practical and technical, starting with meaning is so important, because for us, some of you may already infuse this for your students, but it's not obvious. We say, write an essay about your summer. That doesn't mean they're going to care about it. Write a story about a hardship you have. Doesn't mean that they're going to care about it. So our goal is to really induce meaning. Meaning is the idea that a person wants to express by using words, signs, etc., just like a story. But the idea with meaning is a person they want to express meaning, to feel meaning. And this is an important part of any story. For those who, you know, a bit about, like, storytelling is not like a buzzword in, you know, high tech and in marketing as well. It's like, oh, let's learn storytelling. Storytelling is the art of taking the listener on a journey, which ties back to audience-focused speaking. What is a story? I'd like somebody to read. Sabina, please read. You're on mute still. Oh, sorry, I tried to unmute, ask you to unmute, so I have to unmute again. Yeah, you're still on mute. You need to unmute.
Is
There
it
we go.
okay now?
Yes.
Okay. Story, an account, real or imagined, of events told for entertainment. Where do we see use of artistic storytelling? Public speak a message.
Okay, so where do we see artistic story? Where do we see the modern storytellers? What is a medium? I also mentioned this earlier. Where do we see storytelling today?
Knesset.
What? Carmit, what was the answer?
Usually
for
they are
children.
good storytellers.
That's true. Where else?
Mostly in kindergartens.
Kindergartens, yeah. But as far as teachers,
Maybe in kids channels.
kids channels, yeah, a lot of stories in those places.
At schools as well.
Theaters.
Yep. Where is a place that we see storytelling used by grown-ups for grown-ups? Videos that we've seen, which are interesting, we'd want to listen to.
Mentors.
Mentors, very good.
Social media.
Social media. So I said in the beginning of the course for public speaking talk like TED. Has everyone here seen a TED Talk?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So TED Talks are a great platform to see inspired public speakers using storytelling to convey ideas worth telling, worth spreading. And this is something which we notice that we've seen as TED Talk is there's a lot of stories. They really work on engaging us. They practice a lot. You know, they're practice every beat many times. TED speakers are engaged and excited. How do you get engaged and excited? First is speak about a topic you are passionate about. And for the goal of public speaking, you want our students to be passionate. And remember, our students are careful creatures. They're like, wait a minute, what are you trying to do? You know, get me to care? I don't think so. I have a YouTube hero I follow who makes $500,000 a year. I don't need school. You know, it's not easy to just say, hey, students, care, you know, and that's what we want to walk them into it. But we need to understand that getting students to care is an essential part of them speaking and enjoying the process rather than painfully not wanting to speak this second language, which can be difficult to learn. So passion and excitement are best. And, you know, we all want to be excited about something that makes us happy. So question to everyone here, what makes you happy? Let's throw things out. What makes us happy?
Family. Maybe a holiday.
Holiday, yeah, we like vacations. What
My
else?
family, my children, my grandchildren.
My children.
Family,
Also.
children. What else?
Songs.
Songs, yeah, we like songs.
Dance.
What else? Dance.
Humor.
Humor, we like humor. What else?
I would say food.
What makes you happy?
Food.
Food.
Yeah.
That's what one of my students told me.
Yep.
Food.
So we see here now, but by the way, it's amazing how much
To be appreciated.
the vacation theme can come up a lot. For next week's drill, where we're in a few weeks, we're gonna learn about story structure. And I asked teachers in a different one of this topic, what do you want to talk about? Almost everybody wrote vacation. So it's nice to see. But why should we be the ones to make it up? There actually is scientific research on this. So there's a happiness poll by Greta Grimshaw. She did a LinkedIn study in 2014, and she found that social interactions between people ranked by far the highest over all of these others. See, nature, charity, task completion, money, one of the last ones, self-expression, pretty low, you know, but these are the percentages. By the way, if this interests you, the slideshow will be on the Moodle and you can go through all of this later. So
By the way, that
let's-
explains why during the corona last year, many people were isolated, and that is why people were more, I don't know, more depressed, sad.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
very, very much. All right, can you please read the next slide?
Anything on the happiness poll can work as inspiration for the idea of your talk. Your talk should address a real human need or experience. When the need is real, your audience will connect.
Exactly. So it's important that our students are guided. And when you talk, you're guided. It's something that matters. When it matters, we feel it. And it's more difficult to write good things with the disconnect than with the real connection. It's something we want to elicit from our students and do ourselves. Now, when we're talking about meaning and needs, the needs being real, let's talk about real needs. Has everyone here heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs before? All right, we've, so hopefully.
תורת הצרכים של מאסלו, כן.
Exactly. So we see here on this scale, first of all, there's the don't haves and then there's the do haves. Okay, so looking at it here, there's the deficiency needs. Sorry that the font's a little small for those on their phone. Deficiency, what does deficiency mean? Choser, yeah, something we don't have. So physiological needs, if we go back to the slide here, air, water, food, shelter, clothing. This is the basic physical need. Try teaching a hungry student. It doesn't work. Try teaching a tired student. Doesn't work. Next are safety needs. Personal security, resources, health. When we're not feeling well, it impacts things. Then love, friendship, and belonging. If we get into a fight with someone we love, that impacts our day, that colors our day. And then esteem, respect, status, recognition. When we don't have any of these things, we are sad. It impacts us. These are deficiency needs. These things we need to be able to have a normal day, to come at the end of the day and sit here in this professional development with Daniel. We need to not be hungry, have enough air, know that our house is not going to be raided, know that our friendships are secure. And we see, by the way, that when we get different types of interruptions, when those we love have need, or if we're impacted, if someone here had a bad day, had a fight, we feel it. So we need the deficiency needs covered. Okay, like I said, difficult, tired student, hard to teach. And then there is the, so Maslow talked about a more positive account for human behavior, focused on not what goes wrong, but on what goes right. Maslow was very interested in human potential and fulfilling that potential. That leads to the top one, which we're familiar with, which is self-actualization. The growth need, personal growth and peak experience, creativity, and the desire to be the most you can comes from searching for meaning in our lives. So we've seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but there's something interesting that I learned along the way, that Maslow also has Maslow's motivational model, which breaks the growth needs into further needs: cognitive, aesthetic, self-actualization, and then transcendence. You're all welcome to read more about this if you'd like. But once our deficiency needs are covered, this is the place of inspiration, the place of excitement, the place that we want to get our students to when they're going to speak English, tell their stories, learn the different things that we're going to be learning, which are going to be quite exciting. Characteristics of self-actualizers, there's like a whole bunch of lists here. They perceive reality effectively. They accept themselves and others for who they are, and so on. It's a whole bunch of positive things that come from when our deficiency needs are met. Okay, and behavior leading to self-actualization is experiencing life like a child, trying new things, many different positives. And we don't need to focus on these slides. It's just if you're interested, you can read the specifics later. But think of what we need covered to be able, and I'm saying this right now for us as grown-ups, as teachers, we have money, we're able to, at least cover our basic needs. We're not hungry most of the time. We're not cold most of the time. So we're able to move towards self-actualization. We're aware that we have to cover our deficiency needs. We know what happens when we're not there. And for this reason, by the way, that's also why I want to take a 10-minute break. Like those 10 minutes make it much easier to be here right now than plowing through for two hours without. So being aware of this, what we want to understand and what we want to tap into first for ourselves, because when we're excited, the audience gets excited, and understand and get over that disconnect that we so often had when we're handed textbooks or we need to do something that doesn't interest us. And look, in life, we do have to do these things sometimes. Okay? Motivation results in meaning. If we can find motivation, we can find meaning. Friedrich Nietzsche says, he who has a why can live to bear almost any how. So if you heard of the philosopher Nietzsche, famous for a bunch of quotes, it's a nice quote. Einav, can you please read the following slide about Viktor Frankl?
Find it a bit difficult today.
Would you like to pick someone else to
It's
read?
difficult for me today. What?
I said, are you able to read or should we pick someone else?
As though I prefer not.
All right. Israel Rachel, can you please read? Rachel? All right. I think her screen froze. Karen, can you please read?
Okay, so I'll read.
All right.
I see that it's
Sorry, I tried it now. It's yeah.
Viktor Frankl. Viktor Frankl was born in Vienna in 1905. He trained as a psychiatrist. Say it.
Yeah, psychiatrist and neurologist.
Psychiatrist. Okay, and
השליח שנייה פה.
neurologist.
Yep.
Okay, working from the framework of existential therapy. During World War II, Frankl spent about 3 years in various Nazi concentration camps.
Wonderful. Rachel, can you please continue? Thank you, Einav. Rachel, can you hear? Or am I getting everyone one day exactly when they freeze? All right. Either Rachel.
What do you want her to read? Ah, okay, yes.
All right. Meirav, you can read. Thank you for volunteering.
Frankl observed that those who were able to survive the experience typically found some meaning in it, such as a task that they needed to fulfill. For Frankl personally, his desire to rewrite a manuscript that had been confiscated upon arrival at Auschwitz was a motivating factor.
Please keep going.
After the camps were liberated, Frankl resumed his work as a neurologist and psychiatrist. In 1946, he published Man's Search for Meaning, outlining his experiences in the concentration camps, as well as the basic tenets and techniques of logotherapy.
Wonderful. Thank you, Meirav. So Viktor Frankl, who lived through the Second World War in concentration camps, he found that the people who survived more likely had a reason, something that was willing them forward, a motivation. He wanted to finish his book that was taken away before he went into the camps. So this came logotherapy, which is a search for life's purpose and the pursuit of that meaning in one's life. And Frankl's theories were heavily influenced by his experiences of loss and suffering in the concentration camps. So logotherapy focuses on the future, will to meaning, existential frustration, neurosis, existential vacuum, and the meaning of life. Search for meaning is a primary motivation. We're all looking for meaning. We're all looking for purpose. Our fulfilling of our purpose can only be done by us. For meaning, you do not need a tensionless state. It's not about alleviating pain and frustration, because for us, when we're well fed, when we're warm, when we know our family love us, we don't go, things are covered. Although we may feel that way sometimes after an exhausting day. but then we're looking for more. And this is the thing for all of us. We all have that, itch on the back of our mind that there's more we could be doing or more we could be, a goal worth struggling for. And the reason I'm taking the time right now, these like 10 minutes to focus on this, is to understand that in so much of school, this is overlooked. And for us, when we're telling stories, we want to elicit tapping into this type of meaning with students. I'll read a drop from Frankl's book. Man should not ask what the meaning of his life is, but rather he must recognize that it is he who is asked. In a word, each man is questioned by life, and he can only answer to life by answering for his own life. And to life, he can only respond by being responsible. Life is finite, life is final. So we are responsible for finding our own answers to meaning. Each person has a healthy core and their own internal resources. Life offers us purpose and meaning, but it does not owe us a sense of fulfillment and happiness. Okay, so how do you find meaning? How do we get our students to find meaning? By creating a work or accomplishing some task, by experiencing fully or loving somebody, and by the attitude that one adopts towards unavoidable suffering. We know we have to do it, we plow through. So how do we find meaning? By finding a goal worth achieving. And meaning in your speeches, meaning of goals in our speeches, to create and maintain a space for self-actualization. Public speaking is not trying to put passion into the mundane. It's not trying to use a tone of voice and, eye contact and projecting and raising our volume and tension and all of these things. It's not trying to do that.
Excuse me, what is mundane?
Mundane is boring and, monotonous, repetitive.
Okay.
So it's not about, and this is the key. So much of the time we expect of our students to bring passion and excitement to things that are not there. And we feel that public speaking is a magic spice we can sprinkle on something boring and it'll make it interesting. But that is not the case. Public speaking is about engaging what is already there and guiding us towards the state of well-being. According to logotherapy, we can discover meaning in 3 ways: achievement, experience, and attitude. So we discover meaning, creating work, achievement, experiencing, and attitudes, which is bring us to triumph and so on. So to conclude this, 15 minutes of more information on a slide than I normally put, our students will speak best when they feel confident, motivated, and achieving. And that's the place we want to tap into. In the following weeks, we're going to learn the tools to provide meaning through storytelling, story structure, and other public speaking tools. But before we do any of these things, we need to understand that our goals as teachers, if we want to achieve in educating and exciting our students, is to understand that as long as we try to make the mundane interesting, and mundane can be us giving them a reading assignment that we don't like, but this year is, awareness of the Bears year, and therefore we have to read a certain poem or whatever it is. And we have to do a bunch of juggling. And sometimes we take it with a smile and sometimes we don't. I can say for myself, I've, taught things I wasn't always excited about. But one thing I learned in debate was to try to find the thing inside that you can connect to, because sometimes you don't have a choice. So with this, again, like a lot of these things here, we know, like we've seen Maslow's theory before, for example. But to understand that, like, that's a theory of surviving in life. This is a classroom. Classrooms are different. When we're creating drills to teach our students skills and to get them to speak, the first thing we want to understand with all the tools that we're using is, yes, you can use them to make the mundane less painful. But if you take what is already there, the excitement, the engagement, we see our students get excited and engaging about different things. If we can tap into that, it brings a whole different storytelling experience. And that is our goal for this course and in the coming weeks. So are there any questions on any of this? No? All right. Awesome. So what what I would like us to do right now, so I'm gonna stop the stream. So thank you, everyone. Hope this was beneficial, and the video and the slideshow will be on the Moodle. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.